And now the 419 with Gretchen DeBacker, Matt Killam, and Kevin Mullen.
Welcome into the 419, powered by WGTE and presented by Witro Wealth Management. We are on the road again, celebrating 419 Day out at Jupmode in downtown Toledo with a beautiful live audience. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody for being here. Certainly our huge thanks to John and the team at Jupmode for opening their doors to us today. Deets Barbecue is out here. Ladder 419 is out with some great local beer. And we've got an incredible show jam-packed with truly the best corners of Toledo.
Yes.
We're celebrating the arts. We're celebrating leadership in our community. We're celebrating community, and we're celebrating an incredible local athlete and talent. So we've got Elaine Trudell going to be with us.
Yep.
We'll have Pete Gherkin, and then we'll wrap up with Chris Wormley.
More celebrity power than we deserve, I think.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's exactly what I deserve.
Yeah. Okay. And Matt, you're rocking the shirt that you just made moments ago.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Just came off the presses. And if,
Is it burning you a little bit?
Please, Gretchen. Just a public service announcement. If you are warming your clothes in the microwave right before putting them on, you are wasting.
out.
This feels terrific.
Yeah.
During the break, when we
It
put my
smells a
jeans.
little like burning hair.
Yeah, no, that's my pants. Yeah. That's just the excitement for the live show.
Yikes.
You're going to put your jeans through the heater?
100%.
So I had asked them, I legitimately asked them, you guys run your lunch through here,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And they don't.
Yeah,
But they do now.
that's what a
They
genius.
do now.
Yeah.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
Right there. All right, you guys celebrating 419 Day.
Whoops, yes.
What does 419 Day mean to you?
I just love the way, especially in recent years, so many groups, Downtown Convention Bureau, groups like Jupmode. This is John Amato's idea, was bringing people together to the store to wear this gear, to merchandise the area. So many places downtown were open this weekend for people to go out and celebrate and see what's going on. So I just think it's a nice little weekend of enthusiasm.
Yeah, I like to go to some real Toledo staples. So I go to Walmart in the morning to shop. Then I catch a bite at my neighborhood grill, Applebee's.
Yeah.
Just one sort of a crowd favorite. And then I celebrate food at a local Italian eatery called Olive Garden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just celebrating everything that is Toledo.
Really, all the great local spots.
All the greats.
Yeah, nailed it. I didn't realize that Olive Garden was local in Toledo.
Then you haven't celebrated food, Kevin.
No, I have not. I have
That's
not.
right.
Yeah. Well, you're all your family when you walk in there.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
No,
The family that makes you sick.
We talked about it when we started the show that what we want to do is celebrate our community, right? Celebrate the great people doing great things across Northwest Ohio. Part of what I love about 419 Day, what I can see in the faces that are with us here today is certainly the best of Toledo and a lot of pride in our community, and folks that are all working hard to make this a better place. So all right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Elaine Trudell from Live Arts Toledo. It's the 419, powered by WGTE.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.
WGTE Public Media's Educational Services Department provides outstanding programs, services, and resources to enhance learning outcomes for students, educators, and learners of all ages. WGTE's Educational Services Department teaches parents, caregivers, and educators how to utilize educational media, children's literature, and engaging activities to help prepare young children for a happy, healthy, and bright future. From PBS Kids programming specifically designed to support the development and creativity of young children to individualized lesson plans, standards-aligned curriculum, professional development classes, community events, and family fun movie nights right here at WGTE. Our Educational Services Department shares the tools you need for you and your little ones to feel like you belong. WGTE Public Media, where you belong.
Shane.
I love it. I love it. Welcome back into the 419, a special 419 Day celebration. We are live with a live studio audience out at Jupmode in downtown Toledo. Sounding good. And we're joined now by Elaine Trudell from Live Arts Toledo. Elaine, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and thank you for saying my name properly.
I was threatened before if I got it wrong.
Great job.
You were going to hit me with whatever that stick is that you conduct with. Welcome. How long have you been in Toledo?
It's my
start there.
eighth season. Yeah,
Incredible.
8th year.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So you are the music director for the Toledo Symphony Orchestra as well as the Toledo Jazz Orchestra. What is the correct term or title for people to call you? Is it conductor? Is it maestro? Is it AT? Like what's the
AT?
Yeah,
I like
what's
that.
that?
No, I'm allergic to maestro personally.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's no, they just call me Alain.
Yeah.
You know, that's my name.
Yeah,
So
sure.
that's but no, we're trying to make symphony music or whatever music we play on stage, because you know the symphony we play from pop, film music, symphony music, the ballet, rock, we play all kinds of music. So we want everybody to feel welcome.
Sure.
You know, we're trying to have all these walls that maybe have been built over the last century or something like that, to bring those down and that people feel welcome. And when they see me, I'm very happy when they say either Monsieur Trudel, this is my name, or just Alain. I'm very happy to meet everybody.
How do you say hello in Canadian?
Say bonjour.
Oh, all right.
Which I say to the upside every rehearsal.
That's right.
I come in and say bonjour, and some of them go, "Arr, arr."
Yeah, sure.
But they say bonjour sometimes.
So a lot of people may not know that you sort of split your time between Toledo, Ohio and Toronto, Canada. Is that correct?
Oh, it's way worse than that.
Okay.
It's Trois-Rivières and Toledo. For hockey fans, it was very difficult last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really hard.
And we brought you in today under the guise of saying it was the kickoff to the NHL playoffs, right? And now it's this dumb show.
Where did your love of music get started?
So it's interesting because you talk a lot about community. For me, it started, I come from a modest neighborhood in Montreal, Canada. And we were looking for something to do as young teenagers, so 12 years old, thinking, you know, going out with friends, doing that. You know, it can get, if you don't find something to do, if you don't find your teens something to do, and then sometimes, you know, not greatest things
This is what
happen,
happened
right?
to Matt.
I'm so sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
I almost joined the symphony. What a break.
So I joined the local brass band, and just to be with my friends. I didn't have like any ambition. I mean, my parents were jazz musicians.
Oh.
Yeah, both of them. So of course you don't have a real ambition of making a living because it's so hard for jazz musicians. Both
You
my
lived it.
parents cried the day I told them that's what I'm doing. They said,
Yeah.
no. But they love music, of course.
Sure.
And I started playing, you know, going there with my friends just to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
And
What was the
finally,
instrument that you picked up?
I wanted to play drums, and my dad was a drummer. I wanted to play trumpet because that's the other one I knew. And you had like 3 choices you fill out, and I filled 1 and 2. I didn't fill 3, and they gave me a trombone. So that's how it happened.
Yeah.
But you know, it wasn't love at first sight. But you know, it taught me one thing: is that it's not really. It's what you're saying. It's the message more than whatever instrument you pick. So when we have in our youth orchestras, you know, because you know we have with the symphony we have 3 youth orchestras as well. So and we also have programs that we go and you know, boys and girls club and all kinds of instruments that we provide sometimes. And it's really something they get to do with this. It's a way to express yourself. It's a way to open your creativity. And it's a way to feel like when we have the youth orchestra, sometimes the musician in the school, if they're 2 or 3, they say, oh, those guys are weird, you know, because they keep thinking solfège or note. But when we put all of them together, then they feel like they have a clan, they have a group, they have a family. So we have 3 of those families with the orchestra as well.
When you picked up the instrument, did you start hearing music differently? I mean, is this wired into you molecularly? I mean, how did the light bulb or switch get turned on for you?
It's interesting because I always love being with other people,
Sure.
making music together.
Yeah.
So it was more doing something together
Yeah.
than actually making notes or making
Yeah.
the music. And I didn't play any classical music for the first 3 years.
Okay.
We're basically playing disco music or the music from that era. I'm telling you my age a little bit. So.
Yeah.
But and suddenly I went to audition for the conservatory. But it was not because I had this great vision about being a classical musician, because the teacher, it was free.
Yeah, sure.
So we
Yeah.
couldn't pay for lessons.
Yeah. You
So
think
I
these
said,
people would come here if they pay?
So I said, I'll try. So I tried out, and finally I got in. And then slowly, love of classical music happened.
Yeah.
You need to hear it. You need to see it. It's the same thing with a sport you might not know. Then you see it more, and you start to appreciate it. So for us, it's the same thing. So I started because I was doing jazz or pop or that you see all the time. But classical music, I started being more in contact with it.
Yeah.
And then I started to really appreciate it. And that's what people say when they come to the symphony. They say, okay, the more we come, the
Yeah.
more we feel like, okay, this is home.
When you first guest conducted here, I think in 2017 or 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and then ended up getting the job. So
Mm.
tell us a little bit about your Toledo story, how you
that's
made
very
that connection.
funny.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I came here actually before that.
Okay.
As a guest conductor, like 3-4 years before that. And then they phoned me. Usually, if it goes well, they call you back like 2 years after or something like that because there's kind of rotation.
It's a good feedback time frame, I think.
Yeah. So 4 years went by.
We're 3 years into the show. We're hoping to get some good feedback.
That's
Anytime
right.
now.
I'm still waiting at OU, so that's not going to be coming anytime now.
So like 4 years went by. So I said, well, it was good for me. Maybe it wasn't good for them, right? So,
Right, yeah.
so finally, what I didn't know is that they were making their list of who they wanted to consider for the job.
Yeah.
Nobody knew there was an opening back then.
Sure.
So they said, would you come back all of a sudden after 4 years to conduct a concert with the Tchaikovsky Symphony, something else? They said, oh, help us choose a repertoire. I said, oh, that's very nice of you. And then I came in and said, oh, you know what? We'd like to know what you think about our orchestra. Would you take a meeting? And the minute I walked into a meeting, I said, okay, this is a search committee.
Yeah.
So I knew what was happening, but I didn't know before. And I knew after my first rehearsal. So basically, I was auditioning.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, it went quite well. After that week, they offered the job to me.
Tell us a little bit about the day in the life of a conductor. You're traveling back and forth, obviously, between Canada and Ohio, but
Where in Canada, Gretchen?
I don't know. So
I love it there.
what is if you have a concert on Saturday night,
Yes.
what's the plan with the orchestra? How often do you, because you're obviously also doing so many pieces simultaneously that you're preparing for. So how does it work to get ready for that weekend's concert?
Well, the Toledo Symphony is a special kind of orchestra because we do so many kinds of music. For example, this week we just finished. We were playing a pop show yesterday with Emily Claire Barlow, wonderful show, like mostly based around jazz and chanson. And the day before, we're celebrating the refurbishing of the organ at the great cathedral, right? So we had two different programs completely. They couldn't be more different. And they're different places, right? We're at the wonderful peristyle, right? But we're also at the incredible cathedral. But it's different acoustic, different thing. So we started Tuesday. We have a rehearsal what we're going to play Saturday. Then we had the bulk of the rehearsal of what we're playing Friday. And it's always like that. It's nonstop. We have rehearsed for this, for what's in a week, then another one. It just never stops.
This concept of rehearsal is fascinating to me. I mean, you are conducting and practicing with world-class talent.
Oh, yeah.
How do you, at the risk of putting you on the spot, how do you give feedback when errors happen? Because they inevitably do. These are human beings,
Okay,
right?
so that's a wonderful question.
I didn't hear what you said. Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Okay. so I had the great fortune once of I don't know if you have any hockey fans around here. So we're close to Detroit, right?
Yeah.
So some of you know Jacques Demers was the coach of.
Do I? Yeah. He's my favorite Demers. Yeah.
So when he was coaching Montreal,
Yeah.
I had a moment that I could meet with him. So I met with him for about, it was supposed to be 15 minutes, and I wound up being an hour. We talked about things that are similar between coaching and conducting, because basically you
Sure.
have to put something together. It's a strategy of the conductor is more like how we're going to do the concert, how we're going to manage, because the big difference is that we manage people in real time. So you don't get like a report on what is a review
Sure.
2 times a year.
Right.
You get it every day, right? But you have to fix things with somebody who's been there 40 years. And somebody who's been there 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So you have to manage them differently, but in front of everybody. So it takes some psychology. At the same time, you have to perform right away a few days after because they're so good that we have limited rehearsals.
Yeah.
Often we have 2 days rehearsal to play a big symphony, which is normal because then we have another program. There's a ballet coming up next
Yep.
week. So it's really you have to think very, very deeply when you're going to talk to somebody. because when you say something to somebody, everybody else is going to say, well, it's going to be me at some point, right?
Right.
So,
So
you
what's
really-
your strategy with like a rogue flautist who doesn't want to
It's
do what you're
always- it's
saying?
always the flautist.
Yeah. But do they accept? I mean, are they allowed to say something back to you in that rehearsal, or are they allowed to communicate? I mean, is it a give and take?
It depends on the culture you create with the orchestra, and that's a big part on me. But they have their own culture also. But when I was in that discussion with Jacques Demers, he told me one thing. So how do you deal with your big star? Yeah, the really big star, the goalie Patrick Roy was a big star, and he said, he said basically your best players, they act basically with like if they were the ones with the least talent. They come to work every day. They work the hardest. And so I kept that in mind. And I also thought, let's try to make this a big chamber music group, a big, like a string quartet, but with 80 people. So yes, people can always, Alain, what about this? And they make suggestions. I mean, of course, it's not a democracy, unfortunately.
Sure.
But we try to make it as close as possible.
Sure.
One
Same
of the
with
things-
us as a country.
Yeah. One of the things people may not know about you is that you are actually a knight. In 2019, you were knighted by the National Order of Quebec. So we should be calling you Sir Trudel, right?
If you wish.
So how did that happen? Tell us a little bit about the ceremony and everything.
It was very nice. It was the Prime Minister, and he was giving out.
that's kinda nice.
He was giving out the knighthoods, and
Just giving them out.
Yeah, sure.
there's only a few every year, and
Yeah.
you go to the National Assembly, and no, it's very moving. I mean, I was thinking back when I was starting not to be in trouble and get all of not just being on the street, but doing something. And I said, whoa, and I'm getting this interesting. It's a way to encourage that. It says that the work we do
Yes.
is on the right track. So we keep working in our community, we keep working with the people. And it's just, I see it as an encouragement, saying keep going, more of that.
You talked about accessibility of
Yeah,
music, right?
absolutely.
And so I'm curious for folks that haven't been to a live performance out at the new space yet.
Yeah.
What's the right? I mean, it's intimidating, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
and I think about the thought of going to the symphony and
Yeah.
I've got to dress up and people are going to be in tuxes and if there's an air of like sort of a stuffy feel, right?
Let's destroy all of that right now.
Love it.
Okay? So that's the idea, is that when I was saying we try to be closer to the public, you don't have to dress up, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You don't need to know what we're going to play, because we have pre-concert chats anyway, and they're an hour before the show, and they're not based on, it's not a music lesson. It's a little bit what was happening at that time, what was the composer thinking, but not in this technical sense. Like, did he have like a love story at that time? What was happening in the world at that time also? We also have our own building, right, where we have Live Arts Toledo, where people come and see sometimes some rehearsals, and we see a lot of parents there also.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's like, so between all from the youngsters who are in the ballet school or in the youth orchestra, all the way up to the symphony, it's like one line of colleagues that are of a different age.
Yes.
You like to see it that way.
Yeah.
So it's not like kids and then pros. It's like, well, of course, they're pros.
Yeah.
But we see them now and we try to encourage them to continue, and we try to encourage the public to come to us as they are.
I
All
love
right.
that.
We're talking with Elaine Trudel from Live Arts Toledo. This is the time where it becomes the group participation portion of the show, all right? Well, no, all right, so I love it. I love the clapping. That was great.
Everyone
But-
familiar with it.
But when it's time, you'll know, but I need everyone to shout
Oh,
Gretchen's Wacky Quiz.
Yes.
Because it's now time for Gretchen's Wacky Quiz.
I like the name now. I like the name. I didn't
So
like it
good.
before, but
I'm
now
going to ask 4 rapid fire questions. Gretchen
Okay.
is going to ask you to describe Toledo in one word, and then you and Matt will work together to list the 9 best things in Toledo.
good.
Question number 1, describe your parents in one word.
Loving.
Yeah.
What word would you add to the dictionary if you could?
Wow.
All right.
It's already started.
Sorry.
that's it.
That's the one we're doing, all right. What would your secret DJ name be?
Oh,
Yes.
It's got to have night in it.
Well, like I'm being called tea often.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. How about the maple syrup night?
And no, Dig and tea, something like that around there.
Big T.
Tea.
I love it.
Yeah.
T. All right.
Represent. Yeah.
Big T on the 1s and 2s. I like it.
And, all right. If you had a pet parrot, What would you teach it to say?
Oh, thank you and please.
Yeah.
It's a very polite parrot.
Of course,
What
I'm
is-
Canadian.
What is the one word you would use to describe the city of Toledo?
I thought about it. It's not so much imagination, but it's what I really think. Because we talk community, family. That's what I feel here. And I felt welcome in this family.
It's just one word, sir. But now you got to load me up. We got 1 minute left. We need 9 words to describe the city or region. Ready?
Okay, I came prepared.
Oh,
my
my.
friend.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Put your list away, man.
Typical Canadian
Yes.
taking over everything.
No, yeah. Okay, let me go. Metro parks.
Yes. Yes.
Including my 2 favorite, Swan Creek and Glass City, including the pier on the other side if you want to have a bite after. Okay,
Yeah.
Old West End. I walk there all the
right.
time. The Toledo Museum of Art is amazing.
All right.
The zoo, one of the top zoos in the country. I spent a lot of time there. Of course, our Live Arts Toledo building.
Absolutely.
I mean, with
Love
the
it.
kids there.
Yep.
The market on Saturday morning.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You get all your great food. Restaurants, they're like, I'm going to name a few, I'm sorry. It's Souk, Annan's Block,
All right.
Kengo, and also Home Slice Pizza.
Yes.
Home Slice.
After a baseball game or something like
sure.
that, right?
Did you just
well-
Google things to say to Americans? Is that
Oh,
what you-
no. It's a place you see me often. I was at Hannes Block yesterday and the pizza the other day. So the Walleyes, of course. I'm
Yeah,
a hockey
the
fan.
hockey.
And they should have won. And of course, our wonderful symphony at the Peristyle Theater.
Thank you so much for being here.
Elaine Trudell, or as we now know him, Big T.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll
to see you,
take a
man.
break.
Thank you,
When
brother.
we come back, we'll have Lucas County Commissioner Pete Gherkin. It's the 419, powered by WGTE.
To me, community means connecting to others.
I'm Donnie Miller, and welcome to The Point.
I love CBS Kids!
We're a community committed to education. Discover new ideas, dive into exciting subjects, and engage with the world around you.
I would send them personally a T-shirt. Crime doesn't pay in the Old West End. Pass it on. That's how we cleaned up the neighborhood.
Vision loss for people is not the end. It's a story. It's the next chapter.
WGTE Public Media invites you to Get Out and Play Day.
Monday through Friday, it's the 419 powered by WGTE. With Matt Killam, Gretchen DeBacker, I'm Kevin Mullen. What can people expect on the show?
It's going to be an hour. A reminder of why this is a great place to live, work, and play.
WGTE, where you come to watch, listen, and learn.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE, presented by Witro Wealth Management. We are out at Jupmode celebrating 419 Day.
So happy that so many of you could be here. So happy to see so many friends and family. I see both sides of Matt's parents are here, which is bringing people together, is what this podcast does. Happy to shout out my brother and his wife that are here. Matt's girls are here. So thank you all for being here. We're excited to have our next guest.
My family's here somewhere.
Oh, you're here. Yeah.
They wandered.
I thought they left, Kevin.
No, there they are.
Manning the
They're rocking their
There
new,
they
new
are.
apparel, a couple
They
of
got
new
their new
hats and
hats.
shirts.
Yep.
It was great. I told my oldest son what I wanted to do and how I wanted to make a hat, and he was like, "Well, I'll make that, and we can just share it," which is the most adorable thing ever.
Plus, he's never going to let you wear it.
No chance. It looks so good on him.
It looks good on him. Yep.
We're in trouble. We're joined now by Lucas County Commissioner Pete Gherkin. Commissioner, thanks for being here.
Welcome, Pete.
Welcome. Thank you.
We ask this to most of our guests that are in some sort of elected office. Why in the world have you done this to yourself?
I ask myself that a lot.
Sure.
I think you got to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
You have to have a thick skin.
Yeah.
You have to be grounded. Look, I've been in this for, believe it or not, 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Since 1996, I got on the city council and have been here ever since. But I do this because it's stuff I learned when I was younger, right?
You know, bring us back to younger. I'm not sure a lot of people know. Where did you grow up? Tell me.
I grew up in the Old West End. I went to Central Catholic High School, graduated in the magical year of 1969.
Yeah.
Left town for a while, went to the University of Detroit. That was in, if you remember, the late 60s, early 70s. There
And
was
I
some
do.
Social torment going on, and my college career washed out after a couple of years for a variety of activities. But
We don't have to get into that.
No, it was a Jesuit school,
Yeah,
you know, the
yeah.
Catholics sometimes. So interestingly enough, I came back and had to get a job, all right? College wasn't working anymore. I actually went to work for a few years for WGTE. So I've done your jobs, camera people. It's kind of still the same. I think I could do it again. And that was very formative years for me because I learned how the community worked. I got to be creative a little bit, and then I got fired.
Sure.
So still remember the day. Ann Stranahan, Robert Smith come to my office. You're fired, Pete.
Yeah.
I tried to organize a union
At WGTE?
at WGTE.
Yeah.
Came up one vote short.
Yeah.
I probably got fired.
Now, was it Snuffleupagus or Bert that bucked?
It was Bert.
I knew it. That guy could not
No,
be
It's
true.
been a problem.
it was the engineer in the sound room who told me yes the whole way, and then I saw him sneaking down the hall.
Pete, your folks, what sort of infused this civic nature to you, this rebel rouser, this
Yeah.
organizer? Where did that start? Where did that come from?
My mom was a single mom. In 1958, I was 6 years old. My dad died, the youngest 4 kids. My mom never got remarried. She was a professional. She was a teacher. She was an educator. She was a researcher. She was a chemist. And she always taught us that we have to be about somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, that was her thing. On Sunday, you go do something for somebody else. You just didn't come home, go to church and come home. We went out and did something. So I think it's at the time of my life, late in the mid-60s, there was a lot of activity going on. You had causes. And I saw my mom persevering as a single parent trying to raise 4 kids.
Yeah.
So it was never about her. So I think I kind of took that, and there wasn't a cause that I didn't want to get involved in at some point. So I think it's really from her, the way I got raised, you're going to be part of something.
And then you, I'm assuming after WGTE firing, you then went over to UAW and that were very long serving there, over 30 years, and got involved in union leadership there.
Yeah, I think probably the best thing that ever happened was getting fired by WGTE, because then I went to Jeep, right? And I still remember the day I walked in, I felt part of something. Jeep and this community are legend together. I mean, it's really a strong cultural aspect of it. And I probably made more money at Jeep than I did here, sorry, WGTE. And I got a great pension.
They know that. They know.
And I got a great pension. I don't think I would have got there. So you guys did me a favor. But I walked into Jeep and I found out it was, I was making big money, $4.12 an hour.
All right.
1976, big money.
Yeah.
But here's what happened. There was community there, and I think our last guest, Elaine, talked about the community. You worked at the Jeep plant, and I was there 30 years. It was the United Nations. I mean, it really was our community. There were people from Mexico, from the Middle East, from Syria, Lebanon, Canada. So I got to see the trials and tribulations, culture, food, sadness, holidays of a world.
Right.
And
Yeah.
when you pack 6,000 people into a place for 8 hours a day and you're right on top of each other, you better learn to get along, you better learn to listen to people, and you better be able to say, hey, I think I could help each other with that. So that one day, I was bad at putting parts on cars.
Sure.
If you bought a Jeep in 76 to 78, I hope you don't have it anymore. I was probably responsible for the steering wheel. Bad thing to have happen.
Yeah.
So I saw a guy walking around one day with a flannel shirt on, and he had a clipboard. He wasn't putting parts on cars. He was giving the boss hell.
Yeah.
He was giving the boss all kind of hell. I go, who's that guy? I go, that's the union steward. And I go, how do you get his job? And they said, you got to get elected. When's the election? 3 weeks from now. 3 weeks later, I had the flannel shirt and the clipboard.
Nice.
There you
Did you run against that person,
I
or
did.
was it okay?
I did.
Yeah.
I learned how to campaign from being an organizer in college. So.
All these years later, right? I mean, serving as a county commissioner, what of those, you go back to the young Pete that got fired from WGTE, the slightly less young Pete that was screwing up steering wheels. What are the lessons you learned from those early days in your career that are still serving you today as a county commissioner?
Just keep going. Sometimes your things are going to get in your way. People aren't going to do what you want. Life deals you a bad hand.
Sure.
Look,
Like
life's
a crummy
gonna come.
assistant.
Right. Any of the things. Like you could have to work for the Metro Parks.
Yeah.
Right.
When life deals you a bad hand, and I learned this from my brother, you keep going.
Yeah.
And that's something that she instilled in me. It didn't matter when she got home from work at 8 o'clock at night and had to feed, but she just kept going. So I think what I learned was you get back up and go, there's always tomorrow. And I always found something in tomorrow being a better day than today.
I think that's a good segue into what I would describe my words, your sweet spot. Certainly is, I've had the good fortune of being in the same rooms as you. Economic development is feeding tomorrow, right? Can you talk a little bit about how we're prepping our county to be ready for tomorrow?
See, I'm very proud of our county and our city. We've been through a lot. We've been through, think back the offshoring of jobs here. We've lost our manufacturing base. We had to retrain people to do it. But here's what I like about it. People are willing to learn and willing to try new things.
Yes, sir.
So we're not just stuck in automotive anymore. We're now technology. We're now marketing. We now have, look at our even Toledo Public Schools, under some duress right now, but they have great things like academies of tech and career pathways.
That's right.
So I think what's great about economic, we have to continue to train people for the future. Here's what I worry about. I think we're in a good spot right now, but if we can't get complacent, communities that just stop end up dying. I want to be green and growing. I don't want to get ripe and fall off the tree.
Yeah.
So my passion is, what can we do tomorrow? We did great today. We have some great assets. Look at downtown, what it looks like today from 10 years ago. Just look at it. It's not the same place. I want to know what downtown's going to look at 5 years from now. So we got to keep moving.
Yes, sir.
You guys have a new app coming to the county?
We do, and it's called, Ready Lucas County. We want to make sure if people want to come and start businesses here, if people kind of invest here, that sometimes government gets in the way of that stuff. You got to get a permit, you got to get a zoning change, you got to get this, you got to get that, and this app will help us. We will help you navigate through that. Your job is to open your business or hire employees or find trained employees. Go do that, we'll help you. But if you need somebody downtown to help you worry about a zoning change or a permit, or if your site needs an environmental review, we're going to do that. Because that's an investment. I know we're taking tax dollars away from maybe something else to put in that, but if we're not growing this community with a vision, then we're not going to be as good as we are today. I think we're just at the tip of it. I mean, 5 years from now, look where we're going to be compared to where we were 5 years ago. We got to keep the momentum going.
Pete, one of the reasons I'm a fan of yours is certainly the economic development and the time you've served, but way back in the 90s when you were on city council, you share, and I think with many people here, a progressive ideology as it comes to politics. People might not remember that you were partially responsible for the first domestic partnership ordinance that was in the city of Toledo, that you were a strong advocate for living wage ordinances in the city of Toledo. You helped with the smoking ban. You helped with Mayor Kapsikevich and others to develop CareNet. All very progressive policies to help the least among us, right? How do you look at those policies today? Do you think that they would be able to get through the local governments today in the environment that we're in now?
Yes, because I think we're still that kind of community. I mean, when we were the first city in Ohio to have a smoking ban, a public smoking ban. I'll tell you, all hell broke loose over that.
Sure.
My picture was in bars saying, do not allow this man to enter.
Mine too.
Not for
Yours
that
too.
reason.
It's for a different reason.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't. Sorry.
But we are that kind of community that will take a chance. And I make no concession about being a progressive. I think we need people that, and it's not really about being a progressive, it's about what can you do to help the most people that need the most help. I still remember a campaign I did with a great community organizer, Tina Butts, who is the founder of the movement. We went into the Greenbelt Parkway for a year. Greenbelt Parkway was the worst public housing entity in the city. And rather than saying, let's just write them off, we went in there, we put programming in there, we got people to pay attention. We brought the owner to town from Texas.
That's right.
Held his feet to the fire and said, we're going to disrupt your funding from the federal government if you start fixing this up for a place where people can real live. So I think those aren't hard things to do. They're just things you're supposed to do if you have some power and influence. So I don't know if that's progressive or just being a human being. You can call it whatever you want.
We're talking with Pete Gerken, Lucas County Commissioner. It's now time for
Gretchen's Wacky Quiz.
Now I'm nervous. I'm really nervous.
All right.
Yeah.
4 rapid fire questions
All right,
from me. Gretchen's asking you to describe Toledo in exactly one word, and you and Matt will list the 9 best things in Toledo.
All right.
All right. Question
Or
number
Lucas
1.
County.
Or Lucas County.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Okay.
fair.
That's fair.
What word do you love using that you're allowed to use on WGTE?
Yes, that's
Okay. Can do. I think it's 2 words. Yes. My favorite words is yes.
Okay.
I like that.
Is yes.
What's your favorite animal?
My dog that just died. He was a big English Mastiff.
Awesome. Thanks for bringing the show up, Commissioner.
Yeah, he died.
I don't even want to ask the next question, but what's something that always makes you laugh?
Oh, I think anytime I walk through downtown and I see people on the street, and I walk everywhere downtown, I just see people on the street corner talking, that makes me laugh. I think it's kind of what we look like.
Yeah. All right.
All right, what's the craziest theme park or fairground ride that you've ever been on?
I think it's probably the rotor back in the old days of Cedar Point where you stood against a wall and it went so fast it wouldn't fall down and then you puked.
Yeah. How was that ever allowed?
This is usually when I make a joke about another commissioner, but I've been told I can't. So
don't ever follow.
So
You're gonna follow the rules?
Yeah. Yes. So we'll just keep moving on. Yeah.
What is the one word you would use to describe the city of Toledo or Lucas County?
That's easy. Genuine. We are.
I don't think
genuine.
anyone has said that word yet.
We are genuine.
All right. You and me, 9.
All right, here we go.
9 of your favorite. You ready to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. My last name is pronounced Killam. Just a reminder.
Right.
Okay. Your favorite things about the county?
It's diverse.
All right. We got a bunch more. Yeah.
All right. Here's
How about that dog?
All right. Let's start over. Here's my 9 words I practice.
Okay.
I think we're gritty.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we're pretty.
Yes. My man.
I think we're rich.
Yes.
I think we're poor.
Yep.
I think we're east.
All right.
I think we're west.
Yes.
I think we're kind.
Okay.
I think we're generous.
Okay.
And I think we're kind of an enigma.
Done.
I love it.
Lucas County Commissioner Pete Gerking.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by NFL veteran Chris Wormley, talking about the Wormley Family Foundation. We'll take a break. We'll be right back on the 419, powered by WGTE.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
Destination Toledo. Whether you're a local or a visitor, Destination Toledo invites you to explore the region and be a tourist in Toledo. Find events, dining, and things to do at visittoledo.org.
WorkSpring. HR issues and employee well-being go hand in hand. WorkSpring supports employers through compliance, training, and wellness because healthy workplaces don't happen by accidents. Learn more at workspring.org.
Toledo Refining Company, a subsidiary of PDF Energy. Toledo Refining Company is a supplier of fuels that keep our region moving. Located in Oregon, Ohio, the refinery processes crude oil into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other petroleum products.
And TARTA, celebrating its 55th year of connecting Northwest Ohioans to their community. More information at tarta.com.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE, a special 419 Day Edition. We are with a live studio audience out at Jupmode, and we're joined now by former NFL football player Chris Wormley. Chris, thanks for being here.
I just want to say, Chris, welcome.
This is Chris.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell who plays the NFL.
Yeah, I'm Matt. I'm one of the people
Chris,
on the show.
you may not have listened to the podcast in the last couple of weeks, but Matt has been talking smack for a week that he was going to arm wrestle you live on the show.
No.
We can.
No.
Is there a table?
Oh, no. Different Chris.
Different Chris.
Yeah. It's a very small Korean kid that we're having. He's an intern. Yeah. He's very weak. He has a calcium deficiency, and I'm going to crush him.
Chris, we're gonna come back to this eventually, but I want to ask you, you're wearing your Wormley Family Foundation shirt. That's a Jupmode Here for Good shirt, right?
This is a Jupmode special. The Here for Good campaign. We've done it the last 2 years with Jupmode, and it's been fantastic. Be able to give back and what they do for the community, to be a partner with it, it's pretty cool.
They've been an incredible partner with WGT as well. Folks that have come out to enjoy the live show today have made their way into the bowels of Jupmode. I think that's what you'd call that. That's what I called it. And they're making their own shirts. They're making their own hats.
Yep.
With proceeds, of course, supporting WGTE. But the Here for Good program is just one of the many things that Jupmode has done. What is the Wormley Family Foundation?
Well, it's we've had it for about 2 years now, and my last name is Wormley. My wife and I are both from Toledo, and we just serve the youth of Toledo in Northwest Ohio. Give them the tools and resources to live a more fulfilled, successful life. We're both from here. We both love this city and what it's done for us. Toledo supported me for almost 20 years now, so for me to be able to give back and serve in a meaningful way, it's honestly, it's what it's all about.
Chris, for those of you who don't know who you are, let's get back to the very beginning, because there's a lot to celebrate, but it doesn't happen by accident. So where are you from? Tell me, if we were just meeting for the first time and I didn't train you to be the athlete you are today, which of course I did. Who are you, buddy? Tell me about you.
Chris Wormley. I grew up in Toledo, Ohio.
That's right.
Whitmer grad?
Whitmer grad. Originally grew up in South Toledo for my first 5 years, and then we moved to Northwest Toledo.
Yeah.
Went to Whitmer High School. Went to the University of Michigan. Played football. Played the last 9 years.
There was one.
Hey.
That's good.
I'll take one. And then the last 9 years I've been playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Indianapolis Colts. So kind of been all over, but Toledo is home.
While we were setting up today, there was a gentleman that was here that said he actually was a youth coach for you when you were growing up, and said that they had to travel when they'd go play youth sports. Your coaches would travel with your birth certificate because nobody believed that you were actually 10.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, were you like just instantly? Were you always a great athlete, or is this something that you really had to work at, or both?
Both. I mean, I was always taller and bigger than everybody, but that only gets you so far.
Yeah,
especially once you get into college and once you get into college and in professional sports, everyone's tall, everyone's big, everyone's the best where they came from. So you have to work at it. You know, my daughter Spade here, she's 6. She comes to train with me all the time and is running around. And I was talking with John in the back that, you know, it's as a dad, you have to be a dad, but you also have to do your job, which is for me in the off seasons is working out and training, and the fruits of my labor now is, you know, playing on Sundays, and they got to see that, so that's been fun. But it took some work, but I mean, I was blessed with a massive body.
Me too, Chris. Chris, I've got to ask you though. I rarely the people get to talk to the human being. You're from Whitmer, which was a big school, sure, but then Michigan, which of course is a giant school. Ever feel like scared or like a fraud, or like a moment like, I don't know, now I'm in a Big Ten school. Can I do this? Did you ever have a panic moment, or you always felt like I can do this? I just have to put my nose to the grindstone?
Yeah, I mean, I have imposter syndrome every day.
Yeah.
In terms of, you know, the foundation work, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I the right person for it? You know, at Whitmer, in 8th grade, I didn't even want to play football.
Yeah.
You know, my mom almost forced me. She's like, "You're going to be grounded for the summer if you don't play football." I'm like, "What the heck? Like, you're going to make me?" Because I thought I was going to be a basketball player.
Sure.
But yeah, there's times where you doubt yourself, but you know, you put the right people around you.
Yeah.
My 6-year-old is a very big cheerleader, influencer in my life in terms of sticking with things and having my two girls see what hard work and dedication and discipline can get you. Especially when I'm away for a few months out of the year, they have questions, but I want to be able to show them that, hey, this is what it's for. This is what I'm doing it for.
I think it's so easy for kids to see a professional athlete, right, and look at the paycheck and be like, oh, I want that, but they don't want to put the work in to get it, right? What did what was a typical day like for an NFL football player?
I mean, you get to the facility, the facilities where you have meetings and practice and you work out, and they have a full cafeteria where you eat food and all that good stuff. But you know, you get there at 6:30 and you leave, you know, especially in the fall in the Midwest, it gets dark by 4:30. So you're there before the sun rises, and you're there when the sun sets, and you walk out at 5:36 and it's dark. But anything you want to be good at, you have to be dedicated to it. You have to sacrifice things, and for me, it's sacrificing family time during the season. But if you want to be great at something, you want to be good at something, you have to be dedicated and put the work in.
And you are literally tackling moving cars, essentially. There's 18 weeks in the NFL season. Tell me at what week you're hurt. I mean, is it? I mean, it is
week 1.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, the first week. Because you go through a month and a half of fall camp.
Yeah.
And as long as I've been able to play, I'm never really healthy. You work out and you try to get healthy throughout the off season, and you take breaks and you try to build up muscle and you work on certain things. But week 1, you're not totally healthy.
Yeah.
Are you still wanting to play? Are you still hoping to play?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now with the foundation. With our foundation and being home and being a more dedicated father. That's huge. But football has been my first love, my first passion. But there's going to be a time where I give it up for good, and that's going to be a sad day. But I'm excited for what's to come.
You get a phone call today, you're ready to go.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
So talk to me about the foundation. You don't have to give back. To your point, you're a comparatively young man, so you hang this up and you could be done forever. You don't have to give back. You don't have to participate anymore. Where was this decision made? Was it over a kitchen table? Was it on the phone? Was it looking at your beautiful daughter? When did you decide it was time to do this? And talk to us a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, so I was talking with John in the back. It was my aunt used to direct nursing homes.
Okay.
And she would bring me and my cousins to work with the elderly, and we would do chocolate molds and play bingo and try to just be around. And that was my first real taste of what
Was your
service
physical
was.
strength helpful in bingo?
No, but, I mean, they were feisty, They would,
Sure.
they would get out.
Just turning that thing with your giant.
I was like 9 or 10 at the time, so I don't know how
Yeah.
how much my physical stature would.
You were still 6'2".
And he was 8. He was just smashing the balls. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
But then when I got to college, we would work at the Children's Hospital at the University of Michigan, and then I had a lot of teammates in the NFL that had their own foundations. And then this city has supported me for almost 20 years now. So to be able to give back in a small way, especially for the youth of Toledo, that this is the next generation, it's huge.
What exactly does the Wormley Family Foundation do?
We give back to the youth, whether that's literacy. We're starting to, we're doing a summer reading program with the Lucas County Library System this summer. We do a football camp at Whitmer, going on its 5th year. It's a totally free camp. We've done turkey drives and the holiday shopping sprees for the kids. So trying to hit on all different points of what it means to give back, but then also show them that Toledo is a special place, that this place means a lot to me and a lot of people sitting in the audience here and to you three. That Toledo can do a lot for you.
You've got a really cool event coming up this summer.
Yeah.
I want to kind of tee you up to let you talk about what's coming.
Yeah, so June 20th, we're having a charity softball game at Fifth Third Field. It's called the Chris Wormley Celebrity Softball Game, where celebrities and athletes and Toledo legends are coming back to the city, playing at Fifth Third Field, raising money for our foundation to give back to the city that is Toledo. All the proceeds are going back into the city. That means a lot to us. But June 20th.
Who are some of the people that are going to be playing?
Storm Norton, a teammate of mine at Whitmer.
Yeah.
Went to Toledo and played football. Now he plays for the Atlanta Falcons. Eric Kennard, gold medal winner in the high jump. Went to Rogers High School. He's coming back to play. We have some social media influencers. We have some comedians coming in. A guy named Steve Byrne, who I think he's performing at the Funny Bone down in Perrysburg that weekend. So he's coming to play in the game beforehand. We're looking to get about 25 celebrities,
Where
athletes
available?
to come back.
I'm assuming not all the invites have gone out yet because I haven't seen mine. I don't know if you're. I'm kind of a big deal.
You on a,
And Gretchen wants to ask this question: what's the doping testing?
Yeah. I'm assuming there's no policy for the charity game.
It's for the charity game.
Just for the charity game.
Yeah. Go ahead, take what you want. Juice up.
And we're available.
Listen, if you can send me a video of you hitting it over Fifth Third Field's fence, you're in.
Chris, I've been seeing your videos every night for about 60 days now. Just look at them when you can.
I can hit it over the fence. My question is, where do I have to hit from? Can I stand directly in front of the fence?
There is a home run derby at the end of the game, so. I know Storm is bigger than me.
I can if I'm already in the outfield.
Great big guy.
He's huge, and he can smack a golf ball. He can smack a softball, and he's going to win.
Yeah.
But I hope there's some competition.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're talking with Chris Wormley with the Wormley Family Foundation. What is, when you think about, I mean, obviously you've traveled all over the country, lived in different cities, got a chance to see it. As an NFL football player, you get out of a game and the city is sort of yours. When you come back home to Toledo, what is it that you love most about Toledo?
I'm a Midwest guy, so like when I got drafted to Baltimore, it was East Coast, and I had to adjust to living in an East Coast environment. The attitudes, the language, the speed of things. Sure. Toledo is not like the country, but it's a slower paced Midwest city with great values. Everybody seems friendly. They hold the door for you. They say please and thank you. Things that matter to me, and then I try to teach to my 2 daughters. But it just feels like home. I don't know if that's the right answer, but it just feels like a place that wherever you come from in the country, you can find something valuable in Toledo.
Yes, sir.
What would you tell a high school freshman that is good at football, maybe wants to make this their career or their life, a tip or something that you wish you had known at that age to be successful, to prepare themselves for this kind of life?
I would say, I mean, you have to handle adversity, and as a 14, 15-year-old, you're probably not
great
up to
at
that,
it.
I guess,
Yeah.
or great at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot, like, you know, from rejection to not being good enough to
Sure.
injuries to setbacks, all those things that come with life in general.
Yeah.
You have to be really good at that, and you have to be focused and know what you want, which is hard as a young kid.
Without football, if you had another dream gig, what would it be?
Stay-at-home dad.
Yeah. Good for you.
You're doing it now.
Yeah.
I'm doing it now, which is good. It's been fun.
Love it. Let's go back to the playing career, whether this is at Michigan or in the NFL. Is there a moment that sticks out that you're like, that's when Chris Wormley was his best?
Other than right now.
Yeah. I mean, my best game ever, I was playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Baltimore Ravens, and I sacked Lamar Jackson 2.5 times. And if anybody watches football, Lamar Jackson's the fastest guy known to man.
Yeah.
And to be able to sack him, which is a defensive lineman's job,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm doing something right.
Little guy from Toledo,
I'm doing
Ohio.
something
Yeah,
right, yeah.
That's right. That's incredible. All right.
What's the typical diet for an NFL defensive lineman? I mean, how many calories are you throwing down every day?
Yeah, 4,000 to 5,000, I would say.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's so odd.
That's right. We can exchange notes
That
then.
softball game is going to be amazing.
We'll exchange notes.
Weird.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. It's so good. All right, we want to do it? Let's
Let's
dive
do it.
in.
All right.
All right. It's now time for Gretchen's Wacky Quiz. I don't know that I felt the energy
No, it
on
wasn't
that
there.
one.
One more time?
Yeah.
One more time.
Okay.
One more time. You guys think we do better?
Yeah, we can.
All right, here we go. It's now time for Gretchen's Wacky Quiz.
No, that was too loud.
That was too loud.
I'm not doing it a third time. All right. I am going to ask you 4 rapid-fire questions.
Okay.
Gretchen's going to ask you to describe Toledo in 1 word.
Okay.
And then you and Matt will work together to list the 9 best things in Toledo.
Okay.
That's the 419.
Okay.
All right. What is your favorite Halloween costume?
Ooh. Oh, my own?
Yeah. Or no, we
Yeah, maybe. I think favorite.
You're
you've
Johnny.
ever-
Just say whatever you want, man. We're not.
I was a lunch lady in elementary school.
Yeah.
I had a dress on, an apron, hairnet, and a
Nice.
wig.
Yeah,
There's
alright.
a picture floating around somewhere, I think.
Yep.
You've seen it before, haven't you?
Yeah.
I love it. All right. What's the worst purchase you ever made?
The worst purchase? I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty smart with my money.
Sure.
The worst purchase?
What was the? Let me switch it up. What was the first purchase you made with the NFL Patriots?
I was just thinking about this. We were at Sleep Number, the Sleep Number store. It's like a mattress store. We were buying pillows today. And they were jumping on the
so
beds.
much in common.
And my first purchase was a mattress for my house in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, like, this is how much mattresses cost? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't
No
realize it.
kidding.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Didn't realize
That's
it,
just
yeah.
what Big Mattress wants you to think.
Okay, so worst purchase. So there's when you go to a city to play,
Yeah.
we all try to go out to dinner, and there's, defensive linemen and I play defense, so defensive linemen, linebackers. And this one time it was a preseason game, so it was a lot more guys because the roster is bigger. We're in Philadelphia at a steakhouse, and the meal's done, and like, all right, let's do credit card roulette. And I don't know if you guys know that, but you put your credit cards in a hat or a bucket or whatever, and then you have the waitress pull it out.
Oh my God.
And for this one, we did the last card standing. My card was the last card standing. It was about $5,000.
I was going to say, each of you are eating 5,000 calories, so
Yeah,
that's not...
so I mean, we weren't drinking at the time because there was no,
Sure.
there was a game the night before a game.
Yeah.
So I had to call my wife. I was like, hey, I just spent this amount of money on the credit card.
Yeah.
Please don't divorce me.
Yeah.
We've done this a lot. This is my first time losing, so like I've paid it forward, I guess, in terms of that. So that's probably the worst purchase, and it was just because of dumb
Bad luck.
Bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you more of a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, morning person for sure, especially now that I have kids. You got to get up and.
She says no to it. All right, so are you saying that he's not a morning person?
She wishes I could stay up. She wishes she could stay up late, so that's probably why she's saying that.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
All right. I
Okay,
like
what...
it.
Oh, she likes sleeping.
Last question. Last question. How many languages can you speak?
Fluently?
Ideally?
Just one.
Just
Okay.
one.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. Go ahead.
That's
What is
more
the
than that.
What's the one word you would use to describe the city of Toledo?
I already said home. I would say real.
Okay.
Take it.
Real, yeah.
All right, you and me, 9 things. We gotta go as fast as we can. 9 words to describe the city or region. You said real, I'll give you that.
Real.
Yep. Whitmer High School, we're gonna give it to you right there.
Whitmer.
All right.
These are words to describe the city?
Yeah, your
No,
favorite
best
parts.
things in
Best things
Toledo.
about
Best things.
9 best things in
The
Toledo.
Metro Parks.
My man.
Rudy's Hot Dog.
Yep. Thanks for saying Metro West before the Rudy's Hot Dog. Keep going.
The Maumee River.
Love it.
Lake Erie, Maumee Bay.
Love it. Love it. That's 2. We'll give you 2 for that. You
There
got
we
2
go.
left.
Jupmode.
Jupmode. Wormley Foundation.
Wormley Foundation.
Wormley
Is that
Foundation.
9?
That's 9,
Cool,
brother.
all right.
All
Keep
right.
going.
Chris Wormley with the Wormley Family Foundation. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll close out this special 419 Day edition of the 419. Oh, with an arm wrestling competition between Matt
I'm going to call
and Chris.
911 now.
That's right. That's right.
We'll be right back on the 419.
Every day when you walk
You laughed with us. You learned with us.
Hi, neighbor.
We made sure your childhood was special. Memories that could only be provided by PBS. For generations, we've given you programs that made a difference. Programs that entertained, informed, and inspired. And today is no different. This is WGTE Public Media in Toledo. It's where you belong.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE, a special 419 Day edition. We're joined now by the owner of Jupmode. Let's hear it for John Amato.
All right, John.
This whole event, having this in this store was actually John's idea. So he reached out, so we're so appreciative of his support, not only of WGTE, but of the 419.
You've been taking credit for this the whole time.
That is not
I did
true.
not realize it was John's idea.
That is so true.
Well,
I had no idea it was his idea.
It seemed like too good of an idea.
Yeah,
retrospect.
that's fair.
Yeah.
John, thank you for having us. Obviously, celebrating 419 Day. I asked the question of these knuckleheads at the start, but what does 419 Day mean to you?
Thanks,
John.
It's an opportunity to celebrate Northwest Ohio, the people that live here, and all the great things that happen. So thanks for coming out. Glad you finally caught on to Gretchen's idea, and happy to have
too.
everybody here.
If we had known it was your idea, we would have signed on way
They would have been a
faster.
lot more supportive.
John, the store is great. You have great employees, a great team, which we talk about all the time, and our terribly rude producer, Shane from South Africa, who everyone hates, is showing us that 1 more minute, but everyone hates it. But talk to us about what Jupmode is about and why it's so great.
So we are a promotional products company. We primarily make custom t-shirts and embroidery and other things for people, but we also have this retail store where we celebrate Toledo's history, the good things that are happening, and this is a prime example of this. We love being involved in the things that you guys are doing, supporting WGTE, and other great organizations in town. And we hope to be an integral part of all the good things that are happening in the area.
We do want to thank
The best.
WGTE and our team that's here that
Yeah.
set all of this up. We want to thank Deed's Food Truck for being here, Ladder 419 for being here, and certainly Kim, John, and everyone at Jupmode.
But not Shane. Show 7 a.m. on YouTube, 3 p.m. on FM 91, and 6 p.m. WGTE Connects. It's the 419, powered by WGTE, presented by Wheatro Wealth Management.
No, thank you, Shane.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.